The 80s are about many things, but money is at the top of the list. Big new money comes from big new ideas. And from some very unlikely suspects.
You had a new kind of capitalism that grew out of the whole old hippie culture.
For me, the 80s were when hipness was totally commodified.
And an unlikely leader of these culture warriors. Our world will never be the same.
The 60s are over, Dad.
Thanks for the tip.
Reagan made conservatism very hip for a lot of people, including young people.
I haven't seen him this excited since Reagan was elected.
Family Ties is a perfect way to understand how the 1980s was making fun of the 1960s.
I wasn't going to tell you, but this morning I found a copy of the Wall Street Journal under his bed.
Alex is saying his parents don't understand the real world because they're still messing around with their hippie ideals. And the hippie ideals are meant to be portrayed as something nice and idealistic, but not really relevant to the current times.
Family Ties was a comedy based on a clash of cultures. Hippie parents and a Reagan-loving son.
Reagan Republicans liked the show and liked the character, and Jerry Brown liberals liked the show.
It's hard to be humble when you're going to make $75,000 a year.
Alex made it in a way okay to be smart and made it okay to have goals.
You know how much money Nick is going to make in his entire lifetime? I should pass him by Thursday.
A lot of times meant capturing a bit of the zeitgeist and running with it, and we did that.
Will it bring you fulfillment? Dad, it'll bring it. It'll clean it. And it'll have it pressed for me in the morning.
Young, hip, and conservative, Alex becomes the poster boy for the Reagan Revolution. By 1983, America has gotten out its credit card for a spending binge that will have no limits. Interest rates are down, the economy is booming, and Wall Street is on a roll.
Suddenly there's this index, and it's been the same price for decades, and then it's going up, and like no one can believe it. It's like, wow, I gotta get down there. I gotta get in. I gotta get in. That's what you felt. I gotta get in.
Consumer confidence is back.
Inventory time. So right now, Statler Toyota is making the best deals of the year on all 1985 model Toyotas. You won't find a better car at a better price with better service anywhere in Hill Valley. That's Statler Toyota in downtown Hill Valley.
Are you telling me that it's 8:25?
Precisely.
Now, I'm late for school. Chance to play in front of anybody.
Marty, one rejection isn't the end of the world.
Man, I just don't think I'm cut out for music.
But you're good, Marty. You're really good. And this audition tape of yours is great. You've got to send it into the record company. It's like Doc
Yeah, I
always say.
know. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
That's good advice, Marty.
All right, okay, Jennifer. What if I send in the tape and they don't like it? I mean, what if they say I'm no good? What if they say, get out of here, kid? You got no future. I mean, I just don't think I could take that kind of rejection. Jesus, I'm starting to sound like my old man.
Come on, he's not that bad. At least he's letting you borrow the car tomorrow night.
Save the clock tower! Save the clock tower! Save the clock tower! Save the clock tower! Mayor Wilson is sponsoring an initiative to replace that clock. 30 years ago, lightning struck that clock tower, and the clock hasn't run since. We at the Hill Valley Preservation Society think it should be preserved exactly the way it is, as part of our history and heritage.
There you go, lady. There's a quarter.
Thank you. Don't forget to take a flyer. Save the clock tower!
Where were we?
All right, I'm ready. Good evening. I'm Dr. Emmett Brown. I'm standing on the parking lot at Twin Pines Mall. It's Saturday morning, October 26, 1985, 1:18 a.m. And this is temporal experiment number 1. Come on, lady. Hey, boy, get in there. Now, boy.
Raised in the woods, tree, killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy!
Hey, kid, what'd you do, jump ship?
What?
What's with the life preserver?
Till the creeks was whipped and the peace.
Yeah. Give me a tab.
Tab, I can't give you a tab unless you order something.
All right, give me a Pepsi free.
You want a Pepsi, pal? You're gonna pay for it.
Look, just give me something without any sugar in it, okay?
Something without sugar.
Say, what do you let those boys push you around like that for?
Well, they're bigger than me.
Stand tall, boy. Have some respect for yourself. Don't you know if you let people walk over you now, they'll be walking over you for the rest of your life. Look at me. You think I'm gonna spend the rest of my life in this slop house?
Watch it, Goldie.
No, sir. I'm gonna make something of myself. I'm going to night school, and one day I'm gonna be somebody.
That's right, he's gonna be mayor.
Yeah, I'm mayor. Now that's a good idea. I could run for mayor.
A colored mayor, that'll be the day.
You wait and see, Mr. Carruthers. I will be mayor. I'll be the most powerful man in Hill Valley, and I'm gonna clean up this town.
Good. You can start by sweeping the floor.
Mayor Goldie Wilson. Mayor Goldie Wilson. Like the sound of that.
The bruise in your head. I know how that happened. You told me the whole story. You were standing on your toilet and you were hanging a clock and you fell and you hit your head on the sink and you fell and you hit your head on the sink. And that's when you came up with the idea for the flux capacitor, which is what makes time travel possible.
This sucker's electrical, but I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts! My God!
What the hell is a gigawatt?
It sometimes seems the allure of a permissive society requires superhuman feats of self-control. But the call of the future is too strong.
When you listen to Ronald Reagan, what he's essentially saying in so many different ways is we have to go back to a time before the 1960s ruined America.
Ronald Reagan believes to secure America's future, you need to rediscover the past. Turning the clock back is the way forward. And coincidentally, Hollywood produces a movie that does just that. And coincidentally, Hollywood produces a movie that does just that. And coincidentally, Hollywood produces a movie that does just that.
The Reagan presidency was all about nostalgia. Nostalgia for small-town values, for a time when a white-knight movie star like Reagan could come in and save everybody. And Back to the Future is a movie that is about nostalgia coming to life. It says the 1980s are the 1950s. It says that they've never gone away, and there's something very comforting about that.
It takes us back to a prosperous 1950s America of Mom and apple pie.
Art
storytelling, it's always a product of the times. Back to the Future gave us the wonderful opportunity to contrast the 50s with the 80s.
Me, Pepsi free. You want a Pepsi, pal, you're gonna pay for it.
Could juxtapose certain 50s values with certain 80s values.
This is an alluring part of Ronald Reagan's America. A flashback to a time before the 60s tore the country in two.
What? You're George McFly.
You'd have the 60s with the hippies, you'd have the messiness of the 70s, and the country somehow wanted to feel clean and fresh and new.
The movie's core message is that individuals can change their own destiny, even if it means rewriting the past.
It's about hope, it's about possibility, it's about allowing for the fact that maybe your fate isn't written for you. Maybe you can alter it, you can change it in some way. So you're my Uncle Joey. Better get used to these bars, kid. That's a huge message, and it's a transgenerational message.
One day I'm gonna be somebody. That's right, he's gonna be mayor. Mayor!
It wasn't just the message of the movie that brought a smile in the White House.
Reagan saw the movie and he absolutely loved it.
Tell me, future boy, who's president of the United States in 1985?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
The actor? It kind of reminded the audience that it was kind of crazy.
He laughed so hard at that joke that he had the White House projectionist stop the movie, back it up, so that he could see it again.
Then who's vice president? Jerry Lewis?
In the 80s, pop culture and politics began getting meshed in a way they never had before.
It's truly amazing. A portable television studio. No wonder your president has to be an actor. He's got to look good on television.
As a Hollywood president, he had a sensitivity to the way politics was becoming increasingly run by visual images and by sound bites.
Increasingly, you had to be a pop culture person if you wanted to have some sort of success as a president.
Reagan creates the ultimate movie tie-in by referencing the film in his 1986 State of the Union address.
As they said in the film, Back to the Future, where we're going, we don't need roads.
What the hell is going on here?
The mid-80s. America is on a high. It's an explosion of amazing success and wretched excess.
I was making a really substantial amount of money, which I deserved.
New opportunities, new ways to get rich. It's the party of the century.
The boom was on. The gold rush was back.
Hosting the party, the masters of the universe.
You get your first paycheck and you realize you had just made more than you had had your whole life in one paycheck.
Let's work hard, let's play hard, let's do coke, because money is so incredibly easy suddenly.
Now there are many masters.
What happens to your son?
My son? God, he looks just like me. Within 2 hours of his arrest, Martin McFly Jr. was tried, convicted, and sentenced to 15 years in the state penitentiary.
Shark still looks fake.
Hi, friends. Goldie Wilson III for Wilson Hover Conversion Systems. You know, when my grandpa was mayor of Hill Valley, he had to worry about traffic problems. But now, you don't have to worry about traffic. I'll hover convert your old road car into a Skyway Flyer for only $39,999.95. So come on down and see me, Goldie Wilson III, at any one of our 29 convenient locations. Remember, keep them flying.
The naturally sparkling thirst quencher.
It's refreshing, it's natural.
The naturally sparkling thirst quencher.
It's refreshing, it's natural, and it doesn't have one single calorie.
To many, it seemed absurd.
Imported.
Bottled water?
It goes with good food.
It's what I drink instead of a cocktail.
Adding a few bubbles turns an everyday essential
It quenches my thirst.
into a status symbol.
Perrier, the naturally sparkling thirst quencher. Bottled in France. Enjoy it in good health.
Suddenly, at the beginning of the 80s, there were things to buy, and so if you had money, you could spend it.
Hoverboard.
Where is he? There. He's on a hoverboard. Get him!
Very familiar about all this.
Hey, McFly, you bojo! The cars don't work on water! Unless you've got power! Look on! Turn around! Shit!
Hey, kitty, little girl. Thanks.
Keep it. I got a pit bull now. Come on.
Save the clock tower! Hey, kid, come $100. Will you help save the clock tower?
Sorry, no.
Come on, kid. That's an important historical landmark.
Look, some other time.
Lightning struck that thing 60 years ago.
Wait a minute. Cubs win World Series. Against Miami?
Yeah, it's something, huh? Who would have thought? 100 to 1 shot. I wish I could go back to the beginning of the season, put some money on the Cubs.
But I just meant Miami. What did you just say?
I said I wish I could go back to the beginning of the season, put some money on the Cubbies.
Now this has an interesting feature. It has a dust jacket. Books used to have these to protect the covers. Of course, that was before they had dust on paper. And if you're interested in dust, we have a quaint little piece from the 1980s. It's called a dust buster.
Money!
I can't lose.
Money! Up here! Because this hoverboard incident has now occurred, Biff now goes to jail. Therefore, your son won't go with him tonight, and that robbery will never take place.
What's this?
It's a souvenir.
50 years of sports statistics. Hardly recreational reading material, Marty.
Well, hey, Doc, and what's the harm in bringing back a little info on the future? You know, maybe we could place a couple bets.
Marty, I didn't invent the time machine for financial gain. The intent here is to gain a clear perception of humanity. Where we've been, where we're going, the pitfalls and the possibilities, the perils and a promise. Perhaps even an answer to that universal question. Why?
Hey, Doc, I'm all for that. What's wrong with making a few bucks on the side?
I am going this place here. I didn't invent a time machine to win at gambling. I invented a time machine to travel through time.
I know, Doc.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Biff Tannon Museum, dedicated to Hill Valley's #1 citizen and America's greatest living folk hero, the one and only Biff Tannon. Of course, we've all heard the legend, but who is the man? Inside, you will learn how Biff Tannon became one of the richest and most powerful men in America. Learn the amazing history of the Tannon family, starting with his great-grandfather, Buford Mad Dog Tannon, fastest gun in the West. See Biff's humble beginnings and how a trip to the racetrack on his 21st birthday made him a millionaire overnight. Share in the excitement of a fabulous winning streak that earned him the nickname, the luckiest man on earth. Learn how Biff parlayed that lucky winning streak into the vast empire called Biffco. Discover how, in 1979, Biff successfully lobbied to legalize gambling and turned Hill Valley's dilapidated courthouse into a beautiful casino hotel.
I just want to say one thing. God bless America.
You're supposed to be in Switzerland, you little son of a bitch!
My father!
Did you get kicked out of another boarding school? Damn it, Lorraine, do you know how much perfectly good dough I've blown on this no-good kid of yours, huh? On all 3 of them?
What the hell do you care? We can afford it.
Bulletproof vest! Great flick! Great friggin' flick! The guy is brilliant.
Go, look am I, Susanna, go ahead and cry. Gold fever, gold fever. Gold fever.
Security downstairs.
It's a little matter we need to talk about.
Yeah, money, right? Well, forget it.
You know, not money. Gray's Sports Almanac. You heard him, girls. Party's over.
So he lays this book on me. He says this book will tell me the outcome of every sporting event till the end of the century. All I have to do is bet on the winner, and I'll never lose. So I say, what's the catch? He says, no catch. Just keep it a secret. After that, he disappeared. I never saw him again.
Yeah, well, Biff, you're forgetting one thing. What the hell is that? That's right, Dr. November 12th, 1955.
Unbelievable that old Biff could have chosen that particular date. It could mean at that point in time inherently contained some sort of cosmic significance. Almost as if it were the temporal junction point for the entire space-time continuum. On the other hand, it could just be an amazing coincidence. On the other hand, it could just be an amazing coincidence. Let me give you some money. Have to be prepared for all monetary possibilities.
Americans head to the mall.
We spend a little more money that we used to save now.
The mall has made shopping a form of total recreation, and Middle America seems to love it.
Life was good. There were products to buy. There was fun to be had.
And to pay for all this fun, Americans were losing their inhibitions about borrowing money.
I would say in the 1980s, they got used to debt. And as a result, debt levels really rose. It's flat for the first 7 decades of the 20th century. Starting around 1980, it takes off, and then it peaks with the crash of 2008.
Consumer credit was up $2.7 billion in May.
Credit cards. I mean, like, you know, if it came in the mail and they offered me credit, I took it. I owed everybody money.
Until around 1980, American households on average saved 10-12% of their income. And one thing that the 80s were all about was reducing the savings rate before the Great Recession happens to close to zero.
The 80s were approaching their end and their climax.
Anything worth doing was worth overdoing to us.
Fantasy had become a reality, and the decade that made us was about to go out with a bang. It's the late 80s. The decade is reaching its climax. Reagan and Gorbachev might be playing nice, but don't let the smiles fool you. The Cold War is still very much on.
No one quite knew how this would play out in the final analysis.
And America has a secret weapon to do just that.
Ay, caramba!
Pop culture. The Soviets have no idea what's coming.
Once popular culture, from blue jeans to rock music to television shows, began leaking into the Soviet sphere, and that was the beginning of the end.
Illegal radio broadcasts, black market music, pirated videos, all shape an image of America and its culture of freedom and individuality that hooks Russian youth.
The vision of America that's being sold in the 1980s is one message, and the message is life is good, life is fun.
Oh, Marty, you look like you've seen a ghost.
You're not far off, Doc.
Great Scott.
Check this out. Died September 7th, 1885. That's 1 week after you wrote the letter. Erected in eternal memory by his beloved Clara. Who the hell is Clara?
Marty, please don't stand there.
Oh, right. Sorry. I gotta get another picture.
Shot in the back by Biff Tannon over a matter of $80. What kind of a future do you call that? The clothes fit?
Yeah, everything except the boots, Doc. They're kind of tight. I don't know. You sure this stuff is authentic?
Of course. Haven't you ever seen a Western?
Yeah, I have, Doc. And Clint Eastwood never wore anything like this.
Hey, who?
That's right. You haven't heard of him yet.
Marty, you have to wear the boots. You can't wear those futuristic things back in 1885. You shouldn't even be wearing them here in 1955.
All right, Doc. Look, as soon as I get there, I'll put them on, I promise.
Okay.
Damn, I ripped the fuel line. Horrible nightmare. Dreamed I was in a Western. I was being chased by all these Indians and a bear.
Well, you're safe and sound here now at the McFly farm.
McFly farm?
And what might your name be, sir?
Well, it's Eastwood? Clint Eastwood?
You hit your head, Mr. Eastwood. Not too serious, but lucky for you, Seamus found you when he did.
Exactly. How was it that you came to be way out here without a horse? Or boots? Or a hat? Well, my horse broke down and buried my boots, and I guess I just forgot my hat.
How could you forget a thing like your hat? Would you like some water?
Yeah.
What'll it be, stranger?
I'll have, ice water.
Well, I'm talking about liquid. Rich enough to have your own jet. Rich enough not to waste time. $50, $100 million, buddy.
Ice water?
Ice water? You want water, you better go dunk your head in the horse trough out there. In here, we pour whiskey.
Give me some soap, right?
Keep up.
You owe me money, blacksmith.
How do you figure?
My horse threw a shoe. Seeing as you was the one that done the shoe, and I say that makes you responsible.
Well, since you never paid me for the job, I say that makes us even.
Wrong! See, I was on my horse when it threw the shoe, and I got thrown off. And that caused me to bust a perfectly good bottle of fine Kentucky Red Eye. So the way I figure it, blacksmith, you owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
That's $80.
Look, if your horse threw a shoe, bring him back and I'll reissue him.
I done shot that horse.
Well, that's your problem, Tannon.
Wrong. That's yours. So from now on, you better be looking behind you when you walk. Because one day you're going to get a bullet in your back.
Shot in the back by Biff Tannon over a matter of $80. September 7th. That's this Monday. Now I wish I'd paid him off. Oh, love at first sight. It's romantic nonsense. There's no scientific rationale for that.
Come on, Doc, it's not science. You meet the right girl, it just hits you. It's like lightning.
Mark, please don't say that. Turn that valve over there. All the way to the right. Yeah, put it all the way around. Okay, let's go. Iced tea?
No, thanks. It's a refrigerator.
Well, I guess, Miss Clayton, we'll have to find other transportation. We can simply roll it down a steep hill. No, we never find a smooth enough surface. Unless, of course, ice. We'll wait until winter, when the lake freezes over.
Winter? Doc, what are you talking about? Monday, it's 3 days away.
All right. Let's think this thing through logically.
Listen. What if I don't go out there?
You're a coward. Sick! And you'll be branded a coward for the rest of your days. Everybody, everywhere, will say Clint Eastwood is the biggest yellow belly in the West.
out of that shit. Get up! Buford Tannon, you're under arrest for robbing the Pine City stage.
No, hey, that's bullshit, Terry.
No, if it was horseshit, the whole car was full. They had to pay old man Jones $80 to haul it away.
Old man Joe probably resold it too. Now I ought to get something for that.
Look! Yes! The train!
To the lake.
Thank God you guys are all back to normal.
Hey, Marty, who you supposed to be? Clint Eastwood?
Right. I gotta go get Jennifer.
I really like that hat, Marty.
Thanks, Biff.
Marty, it was a dream, wasn't it?
The big bell. How's it hanging, McFly?
Hey, Needles.
Nice set of wheel. Let's see what she can do. Next green light.
No thanks.
What's the matter? Chicken?
Marty, don't.
Grab hold of something.
Come on! Get on!
On purpose?
Hey, you think I'm stupid enough to race that asshole? Jeez. I would have hit that Rolls Royce.
It erased.
What made the 80s the 80s? It all depends on who you talk to.
If I had to say one word about the 80s, it would just be smiling.
If I could bottle that, I'd like to see our country feel that way again.
The 80s was an amazing decade of contradictions in that there was a lot of crazy stuff going on and there was a lot of denial.
The 80s was just a great energy that I just think can never be recaptured again. I hated them. It's the worst decade of my life.
A decade of contradictions that rebooted America.
We went from deep pessimism to great optimism.
I got this note back from the future and now it's erased.
Of course it's a race!
But what does that mean?
It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. Most of you. We will, Doc. Stand back. All right, boys, buckle up.
Hey, Doc! Where are you going now? Back to the future?
No, already been there.
The 80s is brought to you by Bank of America.